One of the hazards of flying military aircraft, or any aircraft for that matter, is that you have to plan for the unexpected, crashing. There's a facility here on Diego Garcia that's part of AIMD called the Paraloft, and that's their entire job, making sure that just in case the aircraft goes down, that the survival equipment, life rafts and such, are all in perfect working order. Navy journalist Kathy Hines recently went to the Paraloft and filed this report.
The history of the parachute goes back to the early 1300s when Chinese experimenters were reported to have jumped off the Great Wall of China using devices resembling umbrellas. The first design sketch of a parachute was drawn by famous inventor and painter Leonardo da Vinci in 1495. It wasn't until much later that parachutes were made and tried out, but they were never considered more than a joke or a daredevil apparatus. It wasn't until March 1924 that it became mandatory for all Navy and Army aircrew to wear parachutes while in flight. The parachute was no longer considered a joke. The military then recruited petty officers from the service to become parachute riggers, or PRs. One modern-day PR who works at the NAF Paraloft is Parachute Rigger Second Class Paul Tuttle. What's the mission of the Paraloft right here on Diego Garcia?
To support the VP outfits that come through here, VRC-50, OMD, and any aircraft that could come in here that needs fabrication work, parachutes done, or flotation work done, or the aircrew themselves needing work done on their gear.
PR Tuttle's duties include inspecting each piece of survival gear that comes into the shop.
Things like our CDI markers, these things we got to check them for discoloration. If they start turning orange, then at that point we know that the dye marker inside the pouch is opened up and the dye marker is coming out. And it starts turning the thing orange. Okay, we have canned water. We have to check it, what we call a slap test. Like this. If you hear a metallic sound, a metallic slap, then you know that it still has a vacuum inside. Without the vacuum inside, the water will go bad. We have some equipment, some pieces, like our strobe light. It's one of the signaling lights. We have to check it, make sure the battery's good, see if it blinks enough times, and everything. We have certain test equipment for each one of these. We have first aid kit. We have to check things inside of it that have expiration dates. If it is expired, we have to replace it, so it's good. And then on this point, once everything has been checked and everything has been determined good, we put it back into the containers that each piece goes into. Now, each piece has to be wrapped with either bubble wrap or a rubber-backed nylon cloth. Okay, and then it has to be secured with rubber bands. We put this back into the containers that they belong in, set these off to the side, then we finish our checks on the life raft itself.
What else do you do besides preparing survival gear?
We do parachutes here. We work with what we call LPUs. These are life preservers.
The ones that made West or so
no,
they're called?
No, those are LPPs. The LPUs are worn by the aircrew themselves. Okay, LPPs are for passengers in the aircraft. Okay, we have some other things over here. We have what we call horse collars. We have a forest penetrator. The horse collars are for lifting people out of the water. Your forest penetrator is for lifting people out of the water or when they're down in the jungle. If a man's plane goes down, he comes out, he lands in the jungle. This can be dropped into the trees, pick the man up and bring him back. It can also be used for water rescue because it has a flotation collar attached to it.
And you maintain these all?
Yes, we do checks on them. Your horse collars have a certain check we got to do to them, where we've got to test how many pounds. They got to hold up to 500 pounds.
Besides maintaining these items, the PR is also a bit of a sewer, repairing containers, cushions, fabrics, and some minor work on the parachutes. Part of the process of packing parachutes is to check the gores, or sections of the parachute's canopy.
You're separating the gores at this section right here. We're whipping the canopy right here.
What does that do?
That gets all the gores straightened out, smoothed out.
Okay, why'd you bring them both together?
Okay, we got to bring it together to make this parachute smaller so we can go into a container. This is the finished product.
Presently, there are 3 parachute riggers working here at the NAF Paraloft, and they're all working as busy as ever to keep your survival equipment in tip-top shape. Reporting for TV8 in Focus, I'm journalist Kathy Hines.